Hi everyone. Welcome. Celtic and Norse goddesses today. Hence all of the shamrock stuff. We'll give everyone a few minutes to pop on. But if you are catching the replay, hi. Please still feel free to say hi and to let me know that you were here. And ask any questions, as always. I'm always answering emails and direct messages from people, so please feel free to do so. And as you come on, please say hi so that I know that you can hear me, see me, and that I can see comments. I'm still just, from that one live, I'm still scarred almost a year later. I see people are being shy. It's okay. Hi, Mom. Got all my St. Patty's Day green on, even though, fun fact, Protestants often wore orange. Michael wore both to school today. But Brandy and I got matching shirts, and I have to have my flower crown. It's very goddessy, I know. All my green bracelets and jewelry. As always, as we're talking, feel free to ask any questions. I will do my best to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I will find out. Because I am not perfect by any means. And I don't pretend to be. Doesn't feel authentic. And you all know I run on authenticity. Got the goddess deck again for Celtic and Norse. The Norse goddesses, I probably have a better handle on their names because the Nordic ones, it's just easier because it's a more Germanic based language like English. Celtic, like when I talked about Samhain, it looks like Sam Hain. So it just doesn't always sound how it looks to native English speakers. Though 57% of my DNA is Celtic, Welsh, Irish, Scottish, all the area up there. Doesn't translate. Hello, hello. All right. I'm going to start with the Celtic goddesses. Hi, Lacey, in honor of St. Patrick's Day. And then I'll go on to the Norse goddesses. And I did keep it fairly surface level again. You guys seem to like that. And if you choose to dive deeper, there's a plethora of information at your local library, Google. Just always be careful. When you're doing research, check your sources, double check them. Even when I was doing research for the series, the goddesses, depending on where the information was coming from, was sometimes a little different. So I took what I could find using my deductive research skills and basically took what seemed to be common themes. Or very interesting. So I like to be broad and all-encompassing as we can. And then we'll see what goddesses want to come out from the deck. They're just beautiful. I love this deck. It's the Goddess Power by Collette Baron-Reid. If you're not, hi Christina, familiar. So I will go ahead and start with the Celtic goddesses. And they just pretty much came out in alphabetical order. It's just kind of how I roll. So the first one is Anya. It looks like Aine, A-I-N-E. It's Anya. She is Irish. She is the goddess of love. So a little Aphrodite connection there. And there, you're going to see some, it's mythology. It's a religion. It's a belief system. So you're going to see some crossover. Hi, Brian. Do you like all of my green? She's the goddess of love, wealth, summer, cattle, and light. Her name means bright and radiant. So she's appropriately named for being that goddess. There were some, on this next goddess, there were some differences in the pronunciation of her name. So it looks like Airmed, and it's Armid. Seems to be the general consensus on how to pronounce that. She's healing and herbalism. So if you're studying essential oils, herbs, anything like that, the healing arts of any kind, she's your girl. Work with her while you're learning. So just a little bit of geekiness on the mythology and how she got to be this particular goddess. Thanks for the love. So, sorry, let me back up. If anyone wants to share the video or invite people in to watch, please feel free to do so. I always like to put that disclaimer out there because I have been asked in the past if it's okay to share. Absolutely. This is a public page, so invite people, do whatever you would like to do. The more, the merrier. So there you go. Anyway, for Airmed, the mythology behind how she got to be the goddess that's in charge of herbalism and healing arts. So the story goes that her father murdered her brother, and she was so distraught. And in her grief, her tears flowed, and it created the herbs to spring up from his grave, and she collected them and put them to good use for the good of humanity. So that's why she's the goddess of Phineas Archibald. She's not the goddess of Phineas Archibald. But sorry if the camera moved a little bit. He's down here rubbing on the tripod, so the cat's making himself known. Anyway, she is the goddess of herbalism and healing arts for that reason. So the next goddess, again, her name sounds nothing like how it looks. It's Arianaward, and it's Arianrhod. She's Welsh and the goddess of fertility, rebirth, time and fate, and the cycles of life. And her name means silver wheel. So I'm going to start attributing her with the tarot card, the Wheel of Fortune. I just think that that makes sense with it being the silver wheel. Bronwyn. Now her name sounds like how it's spelled, Bronwyn. She is also Welsh. She's the goddess of love and beauty. So we have the Irish goddess of love and beauty, Anya, and then we have the Welsh goddess of love and beauty, which is Bronwyn. And her name means blessed raven. I thought that was interesting. I love ravens. There's not much info out there on her. I was very surprised. That's pretty much what it is. Hey, Megan. So, Brian, I thought of you. Bridgette. She's the Irish goddess of healing, spring, art and poetry, and metalworking. Interesting. She was also anglicized when the Catholics came over and they named Saint Bridgette. So there's a little connection for you. She's also known as the fire goddess. She has flaming red hair. All of her depictions are just so incredibly beautiful. I love it. Her name means bright arrow, or flaming arrow, so that would make sense. She's the protector also of domesticated animals, looking at you, Phineas. And Imbolc, which is celebrated from sunset February 1st to sunset February 2nd. So we just had that last month. That's her. She's the patron goddess or saint of that holiday. She can bless your hearth fire, which was very important, like I said in the Greek and Roman goddess live. Very, very important in ancient cultures to make sure that you have your strong fireplace going. That is the hearth of the home. That is why it is so important even to this day. She'll protect your pets and help you get past writer's block. So if you need to write something, whether it's a paper for a class, a thank you note, a text message, an email, whatever it is, if you're having trouble with that, she can help you communicate. Most of us, not most, let me back up. Many of us, I include myself, see Archangel Gabriel with flaming red hair, more feminine than masculine energy, and also the angel of communication. So I see a connection there as well between those two deities. Caridwin, which is Cerridwen. She's Irish. So the C is a hard C, Caridwin. She's the keeper of the cauldron, so you can remember it that way, Carriden Cauldron. She's the goddess of the moon and magic, agriculture, poetry, music, art, and science. So she wears a lot of hats. Also transformation, inspiration, rebirth, and renewal. So she's kind of a big deal. You can work with her during enchantment if you need any kind of inspiration, if you're going through a transformation, or if you're doing any kind of cauldron magic. Danu is Irish, also known as Dana. She is the mother goddess, and her name means knowledge and wisdom. So she's associated with the spiritual essence of nature and prosperity, wisdom, death, and regeneration. So you can work with her when you're, if and when you are transitioning to motherhood. So Ire, which is E-I-R-E, Ire, she is the goddess of Ireland. That is how Ireland got its name. Her name means plentiful and abundant. She's part of a triple goddess with her two sisters, Bamba and Fodla. And they were members of the tribe of Danu, and there's a long Celtic name for it that I'm not even going to try to pronounce, but you'll see it. It looks like Tuatha De Danann. So it's the tribe of Danu or Dana, who we just talked about. So with her two sisters, she's a triple goddess. And the tribe of Danu were a spiritual race that inhabited Ireland before humans came over. And the humans were warmly greeted, even though they weren't necessarily nice about it. But that's how Ireland got its name. It's from her. Masha. Masha looks like Matcha, M-A-C-H-A, Masha. She's Irish. She's a wild goddess who battles against injustice against women and children. Yeah, she's a goddess after my own heart. I love it. She's also part of a triple goddess with Morrigan, who we'll talk about in a minute. Masha is associated with land, battle, kingship, horses, cows, and fertility. So if you notice, there's a lot of agriculture, livestock. The ancients were very concerned with the land, with animals. They understood that life begets life, and that land, we get our life from the land. So we have to honor all aspects of it. I just think that's really beautiful. So keep in mind when we talk later about Morrigan, crows and fertility and death. You'll see a correlation there. Maeve, M-A-E-V-E, Maeve. She's Irish. She's a warrior queen. There's some sources cite her as being a goddess and a mortal. So some say it went mortal to goddess, some say goddess to mortal. If you do some research, you'll see there's some different theories on her story. Because so many ancient stories, mythology, cultures, all those stories were passed down verbally. Sometimes things kind of got jumbled a little bit, and with language, things can get lost in translation, as we know. So that's why there's different, depending on your sources, you see different stories, but they all pretty much come together on some common ground. She's the goddess of sovereignty and territory, sex, fertility, death, and war. So she was seen as very powerful. And her name means intoxicating, so she's associated with mead. And there's a darker side to her story that comes out with that whole intoxicating as an essence rather than a physical state, where she would only let a man be a king of Terra, which was her domain, if they mated. Otherwise, then she would deem him worthy or not. And if he was worthy, then he could be king. So that's where the sovereignty and territory part comes in. Her story is very interesting. Morrigan Lafaye. She's seen in Welsh and Britain. She is the sea goddess, and she's also linked with the fairies. So she kind of has the water and the earth elements going for her, and the legend of Avalon. So if you're familiar with that, or if you'd like to be more familiar with that, you're going to see Morrigan Lafaye a lot. She's also associated often with Merlin. So Morrigan. Morrigan is interesting. She's very mysterious, and I like her. I think I'm going to start working with her a little bit more because her story is just so enchanting. So have a listen. She is an Irish goddess. She's a crow goddess, which I love crows and ravens. She's associated with war and death. She is the queen of phantoms, demons, shapeshifters, which she shapeshifts into a crow, and witches. She's also associated with banshees and fortune telling. So you're going to work with her with any kind of divination, dream magic, and rituals under the dark moon, which we just had the dark moon. The dark moon occurs right before the new moon. So if you're doing any kind of rituals around that time, Morrigan, hi Amber, is the person the goddess, to call on if it feels right for you. She is part of that triple goddess with the whole war and death, and very mysterious. And a lot of her artwork comes through as kind of dark and smoky looking, but very mysterious. I don't find her at all scary. Some people might because of the whole banshee thing, but I think that her energy is just grossly misunderstood. So I like her. I like her a lot. We're gonna see her in the deck here in a minute. Olawin. Owen is Celtic. She is a sun goddess, which is interesting because most mythology has the sun as a masculine energy rather than a feminine energy. Usually the sun is masculine and the moon is feminine. But in Celtic, the sun goddess is female. So you can work with her if you want to bring more love, grace, and beauty into your life. And I would venture to say happiness as well, because the sun is associated with happiness. And the sun card in tarot. With Morrigan, you could see her in the death card. And for those of us, like Miss Corey, if you're watching, we love the death card. It just means transformation. That's all. Rhiannon. Rhiannon is Welsh. She's the goddess of fertility, the moon, night, and death. Her name means night queen, great queen, or white witch, which is interesting considering that she's a night goddess. But you can work with her during moon rituals, dreams, and fairy magic. So I think that's it for the Celtics. So I'm going to move on to Norse, but as always, if you guys have any questions, pop them in the chat. We'll take a look. So the Norse goddesses, I had to start with Freya. Had to. Athena is my girl for Greek and Roman. Freya is my Norse goddess. I love her. Her name means lady. She's the goddess of love and war, fertility, sex, divination magic, wealth, and death. So she's got she's the heavy hitter. I love her energy. Friday is actually named for her. It's Freya Day. So you'll see all over any kind of spiritual pages. I know I do all the time. Happy Freya Day. Freya. It's Freya Day. Love it. Her energy to me is very happy. Very strong and powerful, but just very light. I really enjoy her. Frigg. Frigg is Odin's wife, so she would be, Odin is like Zeus, so Frigg would be like Hera. She is the queen of the Norse gods up there. She's the goddess of marriage, childbirth, motherhood, wisdom, and weaving or spinning, any of the domestic arts. And her name means beloved. Interesting, I didn't know this part about her. She had the ability to foresee the future, to see the fate of any being, and change it at her will. Wow, no pressure there. There's a lot. There's also a lot of the stories are intertwined with the gods in the Norse mythology. So it's very heavy masculine. Talks a lot about Odin and not Zeus, Odin, Thor, Loki, a lot of the male figures. So I had to dig a little deeper for the goddesses. I was not thrilled about that. But Hela, or sometimes she's just Hel, H-E-L, but also Hela. She's the goddess of the underworld. She judged and decided the fate of the souls who entered her realm. So there's Valhalla, which is where the warriors went when they died in battle. The Valkyries would come down and gather their bodies. I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but anyway. The Valkyries would come down, take their bodies up to Valhalla, where they were basically honored and venerated up there. Everyone else who died otherwise, disease, old age, whatever, they went to the underworld, and Hela was responsible for judging them and ensuring their afterlife. So very important. Aegir, E-I-R, Aegir, she's the goddess of healing and mercy, and her name means protection or help. And she's associated with any medical skills and runes. So if you're in the medical field, or if you're interested in those healing arts and you want to work with as many goddesses as you possibly can, Aegir is your girl. Idun, I-D-U-N, she's the goddess of eternal youthfulness. Now listen to this. Her name means rejuvenating, so hence eternal youth. Her fruit is what keeps the immortality going. And especially apples. Sound familiar? Thought that was really interesting. Nanna, N-A-N-N-A, she is the goddess of joy and peace, and her name means woman or mother. And I know I called my grandmother's grandma, but some people call their grandmothers Nana, or someone special in their life, Nana. And I think that's probably where it comes from. She's a very warm, maternal energy. So I just wanted to include her because I thought that was sweet. Not, N-O-T-T, she is the goddess of the night. And she rode across the sky on her horse, and the foam from the horse's mouth was what created the dew in the morning. Apparently that was very important to them because she is all over all of the stuff. When you search Norse goddess, she's right there with Freya and Frigg. She's also associated with darkness, sleep, and dreams. So if you're having trouble sleeping, or if you want to remember your dreams or do something with dream work, Not would be your girl. The Norns, N-O-R-N-S, Norns. It's a collective name for a group of 3 goddesses, so another triple goddess, that lived at the bottom of the world tree. And they determined people's talents and their fate. But Frigg could see their fate, and she could change it if she chose. So, interesting correlation there. Ron, R-A-N, looks like Ran, but it's Ron. She's the sea goddess, and she represents kind of that wild aspect of the sea. Offerings were made to her by sailors who wanted safe passage. And she sometimes appears as a mermaid. So I thought, I should probably start working with her. I like that. That's fun. And then the Valkyries that I already talked about. So I'm going to pull some of the goddesses here. Does anyone have thoughts or questions about any of those goddesses that I just talked about? Oh, here's one. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll give it. Can't wait. So several of them are here in the Goddess Power Oracle deck. So here's the girl Morrigan. See how she's kind of got the feathers? She kind of looks like Moira. If anybody watched Schitt's Creek.
Good Lord. It's the goddess Moira. Alexa.
If you haven't watched that show, you need to watch that show. All right. Anyway, back to the goddesses.
It's the goddess Moira Rose.
I can't. Morrigan. See how she's kind of smoky and mysterious, and you can see that the crow or raven energy and that death, transformation, rebirth. That's all it means. That's all it means. Death is not scary. Not scary. But I love it. And I love the crescent moon on her forehead. Love it. Absolutely love it. Might be ambitious and sleep with that on my nightstand tonight and see what she has to say to me. So here's Caridwin. She is the cover model of the deck. Absolutely gorgeous depiction of her. Love it. So pretty. So as a reminder, she was the keeper of the cauldron, goddess of the moon, magic, poetry, music, art, science, and agriculture. Beautiful. I know I'm going to say this wrong. Arianaward. So you can see Arianard. She is the Welsh goddess of fertility, birth, time and fate, and the cycles of life. So this is where I see her. Silver wheel is what her name means. So you can see that silvery color to her. So the wheel card in tarot. Beautiful. Here's Danu, or Dana. She's the mother goddess, Irish. Her name means knowledge and wisdom. You can kind of get that energy of like, come here, I have something to say. I love it. It's beautiful. Prosperity, wisdom, death, regeneration. If you're transitioning to motherhood, you can see where she's got that sprout. Beautiful. Bronwyn. She's the Welsh goddess of love and beauty. There wasn't much out there about her. What if the guidebook says? Let's take a peek. I absolutely love her headdress. That is gorgeous. Oh, and number 7. 7's my life path number. It's always been very meaningful to me. Maybe yours is as well if you know your life path number. Interesting. This is all about forgiveness. Forgiving those who have betrayed you, who have hurt you in any way. Open your heart to give and receive. There's beauty in forgiveness. She's here to support you. Oh, that's beautiful.
You just leave with that.
I know. She's beautiful. Oof, love her. Norse. Bridgette. Here's Bridgette. This is a more mature, maternal than what I have seen for Bridgette. But I like it. It's beautiful. Goddess of healing, spring, art, poetry, and metalworking. Fire goddess. Protect your pets. Get past writer's block. Imbolc. It's the Imbolc is the holiday that marks basically the halfway point between the winter and spring solstices, or winter solstice, spring equinox. Semantics. What's that for, Brian? What's that
She has more hair than he did.
I love you. I love you, Brian. It is an interesting depiction. I usually, when I see Bridgette, when we work together, I see her as a more, I'm not thrilled with it either. I don't hate it, but it's just not what I see. I see her with long, flowing, flaming red hair, a little more on the maiden rather than the mother energy, or even bordering on crone. Interesting. That's an interesting depiction. So here's Anya. It looks like Ain, A-I-N-E. She's the goddess of love, wealth, summer, cattle, and light. She's bright and radiant. And I would say, check out that crown. Woof. Yum. I need one of those. I mean, I love my flower crown, don't get me wrong. It's beautiful. Beautiful depiction. Adaptability. Interesting. So here's one that I didn't talk about. Epona. She is the goddess of horses, which horses were instrumental. So let me read a little bit about her. I guess I should have included her. I didn't. Oops. She's the Celtic horse goddess. Leadership and guidance, offers you wisdom. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's probably not fair of me to have left her out for that reason, because I included Bronwyn. But here you go. If you're inclined towards horses, if you're a question in any way, Epona. I love this depiction of her. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So Brian, here's my answer to Freya. This isn't my favorite depiction of Freya. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So there's Freya. Often I see Freya more like this. A little more on the like faux hawk, long faux hawk. A little more kind of energy. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Radical acceptance. There's just something about that that's very powerful. When we get into this space of radical acceptance, where we can accept ourselves, our conditions, our life path, whatever it is, when we get to the point of radical acceptance, it's not surrender, it's not defeat, it's not complacency. It's this state of being where we get to the point that we just know. It's really empowering, actually. Just radically accept whatever it is, yourself, your mission, your place in the world. It's rather empowering. So schooled. I have no idea. I didn't come across her at all, so we're going to find out. She's number 46. I went out on a limb and assumed she's Norse because that sounds very Nordic. 46. Brian, you'll appreciate this. It makes me think of God King Scovald.
God, jeez.
It's a WoW reference for those who are gamers out there. Oh. Okay, here we go. As you set your intentions for the life you desire, the Norse goddess Skuld comes to show you glimpses of your future. You experience these magical journey markers as flashes of insight and moments of inspiration, like an echo of something that exists in another dimension. It's fun when things turn out exactly as you predicted, but remember that the essence of your intention means more than its form. It's all about intentions. The goddess Skuld, who rules the destiny of gods and men, says remaining true to the moment of your greatest power, allowing the self to evolve as you go and discover new things today sets the path for destiny to unfold. So she's apparently the goddess of destiny. The power of the present and how you respond to life's potential is the potent, fertile seed of the future. In order to claim the future, you must attend to the now. Even then, nothing is guaranteed and everything is infused with magic. When you become overly fixated on the future, you rob yourself of the capacity to truly co-create a life that is meaningful and rich. It's because doing so gives your power away to something, some destination that has no substance. You're giving your power away. Stop that. It's like you're wandering around in a ghostly place that the goddess Skuld warns you to avoid. Perhaps you've been taught that better things come later, like getting to the wonders of heaven after difficulties on earth. The truth is that you can get back into alignment. So consider this. Your life now and how you respond to it are the seeds that will grow into your future. Your alignment task is to remove all the weeds before they choke the life out of your intentions. Interesting. Bless your life today. Find the lessons in the conditions of your world and be compassionate to yourself and others. Radical acceptance. We are all learning to find strength in our most vulnerable selves as the world changes rapidly around us. The goddess Skuld is with you all the way and always. Love it. That is beautiful. I'm sorry that I missed her in my research. She sounds fascinating. So does anybody want a card drawn for them? We have plenty of time. And if not, that's okay. Oh, Brian, yay! You know, I was gonna say I'm voluntolding you. I'm voluntelling you. I feel like you need some energy with you. Okay, Amber, Brian, and then Amber. Anyone else? Brian, if you get Bridgette, I'm gonna laugh. Oops. You must be feeling better, which I'm thrilled to know.
Old maid Bridgette up there, working in Uranus.
Bridgette's working in Uranus with you, Brian. Thanks, Amber. I drop them all the time. I know, I've really gotten away from the YouTube. Sorry. I'm probably going to get back into it. I just needed to take a break. It wasn't in aligning. Well, that's good. Very glad to know it's not the C word there for you, Brian. But, it wasn't aligning with me. It wasn't flowing very well. It felt very forced. So I knew that I needed to step away from it. So as I venture back into it, it might take a little bit of a different turn. I was doing weekly stuff for the signs and et cetera, and I'm like, we'll see what flows. But if anybody has any requests on readings that they would like to see up on the channel over on YouTube, let me know. I'm happy to take suggestions. So just let me know what you'd like to see.
Don't forget.
It's not about me. It's about you guys.
Don't forget about your.
Oh yeah, my Crystal Den event. So for anyone who is in the area and would like to visit me at the Crystal Den, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the 27th, I will be there giving full moon readings. So whatever you would like to know regarding the full moon, mediumship, tarot, oracle combination, whatever you're looking for. They're 20 minutes time slots from 11 until 3 at the beautiful Crystal Den in Barberton, Joy's beautiful crystal shop, where I get all of my gorgeous stuff. Wait a minute, where is it? Hold on. There, oh, there it is. Love Labrador. All right. So there are still some spots open. So if you are looking to see, I drop them all the time. Looking for some guidance and you're in the area and you'd like to stop out and see us, come on over. Joy's got such a beautiful place. I love her space. I love her energy. I love her crystals, obviously. This came from there. All the stuff. Yeah, all of my stuff. Almost all of it came from Joy. She just has a way. She has a way of working with the stones and knowing. Bronwyn for you, Brian. Bronwyn and Brian. So there you go. That's, as a reminder, she is the Welsh goddess of love and beauty, and her name means blessed raven. So that's pretty much all I've got on her.
She's number 7.
Number 7. Yeah, I know. I read a little bit, kind of a little synopsis.
Forgiveness.
She is forgiveness. That is her keyword, forgiveness. So if there's someone or something, or even yourself, that you need to forgive, babe, ask her to help you out. Celtic goddess Bronwyn forgave those who caused her own death by a broken heart. She asks you to set yourself free from the seeds of resentment that will surely choke the life out of your dreams. We can talk later. This sounds pretty intense, but I think it's appropriate. Amber. Brian, I'm going to text you when we're done. Getting some stuff for you, getting some hits. You got Nyx. Nyx. She's fun. I like Nyx. Number 39, if that means anything for you. 3 and 9 is 12, and also 1 and 2 is 3. There are times when you must surrender your need to know. Some things open up only when they choose to, not by demand. The mysterious and unknowable is the domain of the Greek goddess Nyx. She shows you the veils that may not part for you at this time. Right now, you're meant to keep on your path, trusting the secrets will be revealed when she decides. Interesting. So basically, she's fate. So divine timing. Remain true to your intentions and keep on moving forward, remaining curious and open to what you can discover. Allow your need to know the details right now to fall away and just be present to all that life is offering you. Judge nothing as good or bad and just be with what arises. Soon the treasures you seek will be revealed and it will be better and more valuable than you could have imagined. The goddess Nyx knows what's best for you. Trust and all will be revealed in divine timing. So if you're having a hard time trusting and knowing that like our anxiety and stress comes from that you're welcome, dear, not knowing, from being a state of patience is a virtue that I don't have. And I know it's one of my life lessons to learn in this particular lifetime, and it is a hell of a lesson to learn so many things that you just have to trust. And that's hard. That's not easy at all. So if you're having a hard time with that, ask Nyx to help you, to help calm you, to guide you on the right path while you're waiting. She's the goddess of night, mystery, and secrets. She asks you to question yourself. Are you in a state of denial? What secret have you kept from yourself? Could you be remaining in a relationship that isn't working because you won't address the fear of what will happen if you leave or do things differently? That goes for a job too. Have you been afraid to ask for what you need? So are you not getting your needs met because you're afraid? You're afraid to ask or make it known. Are you in an addictive spiral thinking one more bite of food or one more glass of wine will make you feel better? Whatever it is that you're refusing to face, the goddess Nyx promises if you do face it, you will be amazed at the beauty of your liberation and power. So take back your power. From whatever is drawing your anxiety, take back your power. Ask her to help. She offers you this alignment task for you to engage in rigorous honesty and self-evaluation, radical acceptance. Coupled with fierce self-love and commitment to growth. Be optimistic because the movement you are willing to name your unease. You claim your inner peace, strength, and hope. You can do it. So yeah, name your fear. Name it. What is it? You don't have to type it. To yourself. What is it? What is this thing that's weighing on you? What do you need to release and let go of in order to get to that place of radical acceptance so that you can trust in divine timing? They're channeling faster than I can speak. So hopefully that helps you, dear. If you have any questions, feel free to message me. I know a lot of times I thank and honor both of you for going out on a limb and asking for a card to be drawn for everyone to see, putting yourself out there. It's not easy, and these messages can become deeply personal. So as always, if you want to message me for further clarification, any thoughts, both of you, feel free to do so. So that's it. That's all I've got. At least for tonight. On the Celtic and Norse goddesses. Some really powerful energy with them. Obviously, I have my favorites, and I'm sure that you do as well. And thanks for your patience last week with needing to put off the Hindu and Asian goddesses. They'll be ready towards the end of the month. So next week, we're going to talk about African and Hawaiian and Native American goddesses. So, yay! Very much looking forward to that. So, thank you all so much, as always, for being here and for listening to me yammer on. Hopefully you found some sort of guidance and insight. And if you were doing anything for St. Patrick's Day, I hope that you stay safe and well, and may the luck of the Irish be with you always. Many blessings. Take care.